So a lot of you have been asking about steps of 3D foundation, and I wanted to go over each step and go over what brushes you should be using, and just help with application. So if you don't know me, I'm Jennifer with Jenny Lynn Beauty, and I'm gonna hopefully help you out with those steps today and get you more familiar with what to do with this makeup, because I want you to love it and be, comfortable with applying, and be as excited as I am every day to put this stuff on. Okay, so the first thing, after you get your color match from me, and that you will find in my link in my bio on Instagram. So after you get your color match, you will take your first color, which will be your color corrector. So mine is here. Yes, it is orangey looking, but that is to get rid of those red or whatever colors they may be. So your color corrector may look, it may be a different color, but mine is mango. So I use this multitasker brush, and I will use the little end and apply it first right here around my eyes. Okay, so you're always going to use, sorry, I have a hard time talking and applying sometimes. You're always going to use that darkest color first. All right, and that's how I put it in my palette so that I remember. Okay, so if you notice, I do not go all the way around my eye, even though I do have a little purple right here. So I'm going to get a little bit there. And I got quite a bit on my brush. This goes a long ways, so I can spread that out over my nose. Okay. So I can take the other end of the multitasker and just tap that in. Okay. Now, if you don't have this brush, the multitasker, you could use something with this. You want to use the smallest end. So whether it be the smudge brush, this one would work, or if you don't have that one, the end of the detail brush, or the small end of the blend brush. Okay, so those would probably be your best bet. If not, you could even use your finger, okay, and just tap it in. I would just rather use a brush. That's just my personal preference. And I love these brushes because they're dual-ended. You get your money's worth. My face has been breaking out. It's just, yeah, it's that time. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply right there over those spots. Now you see I don't go outside of those spots. All right. And then I tap it in. So I have a lot of redness in my face. I have a lot of scarring, and so mine may be a little bit different from yours. All right. So you're going to have to apply according to what recommendations I send you. Okay. And then you'll tap. Okay, so you can see the melasma here. Okay, so with that, what I like to do, then I do tap my finger lightly in the mango, and I just tap right there. Okay, around that melasma. Okay, all right, so, and then I have a little bit up here. And then I can either take my blush and bronzer brush, and I use this end, the smaller end, because it's a little bit more coarse, or I can use the buff brush, okay, because this side is coarse, and I stipple. So it's like tap, okay? I can tap that out. Now, if you use the cheetah method, which is fine, and I'll show you that method on the other side, either is fine. Sometimes you just get more product with the cheetah method on your face. So if you're going for more of the natural look, you may want to do this method. So I'll do this method first, just to show you. Okay, so I stipple. All right, so then I'm going to use, for mine, I have all of the melasma and stuff in the red, so I have to use 2. I use amber for my mild redness, and so it's 1 below the mango, and that's my amber. And so I like to use my finger with this too, and like on my cheeks, because I have a lot of scarring and pitting from acne. I was on Accutane 3 times, but they didn't really catch it until it was too late. So I like to have a base layer before I put on my contour. A lot of artists, they don't have to do that because a lot don't really have, and I put this right here too over that. And I'm going to show you, you have to be really careful when you do this not to take off the other. But what I was saying is a lot of artists just go ahead and put their contour on instead of putting the layer on. But I feel more comfortable having more coverage, all right? If you don't have the scarring, don't put on all that coverage, okay? Because you probably don't need it. But I just like to have that coverage. I have a lot of redness right here above my eyebrow. It gets really red. And right here. And on my nose gets very red. And I'm just doing one side. And around my lips. And then I always come down, and I forgot to do this with the mango, but I feel like this just kind of evens out my neck. But I put a little mango on there too. And I just put a few dots so it kind of evens things out. So then I'm going to take my blush and bronzer, the coarse end, and I'm going to stipple again. Now right here where I've done my color corrector, I'm going to make sure and really just be careful stippling and not rubbing it around, okay? So we don't want to take off what we've done. I always do this with my lips, so I make sure to get this nice and even. And then I go up here on my nose. I can kind of roll that around a little bit. And I stipple right here where my scars are. Once I get up to my forehead, I can kind of roll it a little bit there. Now, you see I've kind of left, I didn't put a whole lot of stuff right here in this eye bag area, okay? Because the more you put there, the more it's going to accent that area, and we don't want to do that. Okay, don't forget to get that neck. Okay, and the other thing I do is I like to take my perfector sponge, make sure you run it under water and you squeeze it out several times, okay? And then you take a clean cloth, just a hand towel, and then you dry it real good, okay? But you don't want to dry it all the way, you just want it a little damp, okay? And then I just press this in, it just gives me a soft finish. I want it as natural looking as possible. Okay. All right. So you can see the difference, okay, in this side and this side already. Okay. All right. I got blush on my hands. Okay. So now I'm going to take what my main highlight would be, which is this one here, which is Aura. Okay. And so I love the blend brush. It is a really light brush. You can use either end. And I don't necessarily put it all over my face. I just put it in areas where I feel like I want a little bit more lightness. And again, be kind of careful where you have done the stippling down here. You do want those light colors down there because you want it to match your neck. But make sure and still stipple there. So it may be a good idea to flip your brush over and use this side. Okay, and then go back in with your Perfector sponge. Okay. And you don't have to get a lot up here because you're going to be getting your contour up there. Okay, so I'll take my Perfector and just dab that in. Okay, so that made it a little bit lighter. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to show you contour. All right, now contour, everybody gets a little bit scared about the contour. So I love the detail brush for the contour. All right, you can use either end. I also love the 3D brush, this end of the 3D brush. Okay. Those are probably the only two brushes I use. You can use your finger if you want to. If it's easier, use your finger, okay? You're going to feel underneath that cheekbone, okay? That's where your contour line is going to go. So if I turn this way, I'm going to feel my cheekbone, all right? Right up under that cheekbone is where my contour is going to go, okay? So where you see my finger, that's my cheekbone right there, okay? That's where my line should be, all right? This is only to create a shadow, all right? That's what the contour's for, all right? To create that shadow, to give me some depth to my face. And you can see just where I put my finger because my skin is so sensitive, it has created already a red mark. So I'm already creating my own shadow, all right? So that is where my contour would be, all right? It should not come any further than right here, okay? If you get your contour down here, it's going to look dirty almost, all right? So you want your contour to stop about right here, okay? All right, so there's my cheekbone right here. I want it to stop right here. It's kind of scary looking. So there's my line. If I wanted to take the end of that detail brush, I could draw that line, okay, from here to here with that little end right there. So I'll do that. So here's my contour, okay? So I'm just going to take this little end. I'm going to put my finger back there, okay? There's my cheekbone, all right? I'm going to lightly draw that line, okay? Just like that, okay? That's it. That's all we need. All right, just that little line. We don't need any more of a line. And I don't like mine going straight down, so I kind of come up just a tad. So I'm gonna make it come up just a little bit. The contour is a little bit more thick and harder to get out, which is normal. So you have to press down a little bit to get more out. So that's enough, okay? Now, I'm going to take this end. I'm just going to brush it up. Just a tad. Don't brush it all off. That's the biggest mistake I see, okay? People brushing it all off, okay? So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to have to fix this where I was touching my face. So I can take this same end that I was using and go back and get some more of my main highlight and just kind of stipple right there where I had my fingers all over my face. Okay, just to clean it up. Okay, so there we go. Now with my contour, I'm dipping it back in, and I dipped it on this flat part because I'm going to go up right here and right here. Okay, just like that. I'm dipping it back in, and I'm gonna go around my jawline up to my ear. Okay, and then I like to go down my neck just a little. Okay, so there you can see the difference in that side and that side. Let me get closer. Okay, now I still don't have on my brightener, my blush. Okay, so it's not ready. All right, and I have not done my nose. If you want to do your nose, okay, it's not hard. You can just take the side of this brush, or you can use the multitasker, or you can use your finger, either one. I'll use the side of this brush, okay? So I'm gonna take this, dip it in like this, and then I just make a line right here. You want those lines to be right on those bones of your nose, okay? Okay. Okay. Just like that. And then I'm going to do the other side, okay? So I usually do it with this hand, and I try to get as close as I can to that other line, but stay on that bone. Okay. And then I kind of rub it in a little bit. Don't rub it all off. Biggest mistake I see. All right, you can already see how it has slimmed up my nose. All right. Okay. Now, we're going to get the brightener. Okay. Here's my brightener. Okay. So I love to use the smudge brush. I dipped it in my brightener. I go right down the middle and up, just like that. Okay. Now, if you have lines there, do not get this in your lines. Okay, because again, the lighter shades accent your lines. We don't want that. Okay. So now I've got a contoured nose. Now, we're not going to do the whole triangle thing like we used to do back in the day. We just come right beside that eye and come down right there. Okay? You see how much brighter that looks? And then I come out right here and give my eye a lift. And I just feel like I have more control with this smudge brush. Okay. Okay, so you can see the difference. All right. So there's that. And that. You can definitely see the color. And it's got nighttime here, so I'm trying to get as much color in here as I can, but I lost my daylight. All right, now I always put my brightener right there in my Cupid's bow like I just did, and then right here. And I'll soften that out in a minute. And then again, I go right here on my jawline. And then I will take my blush and bronzer and just kind of go over that. Okay. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to do my blush. The blush is going to go right above your contour. All right. Now, not too far in either. Okay, we don't want it to be right here. You know, they used to say apples, put it on the apple of your cheek. But watch. Okay, here's my apple. Watch what happens. Look where it would be. We don't want that. We want a facelift. All right, so I'm going to use one of the newer colors. Let's do, we'll do Pop. I think this one's Pop. Yeah, I love, this is one of my favorites. Okay, so you see where the contour is. All right, so we're just gonna lightly put Pop there. Okay, that's all you need. Don't get crazy. Okay, now I'm going to take that blend brush. This is the one I like to use. You can use several, okay? You can use the blush and bronzer. You can really use any of them. You could use a buff brush if you wanted. It's a little harder, but my favorite is the blend brush for the blush, because I like to do this and give it kind of a soft look. Okay, so I'm just kind of rolling it around, and I don't want it to go too far down. Look how pretty. And I want it to blend just perfectly with that contour. Okay, just like that. All right. So then what I could do is take this brush, blend them both up a little bit. Okay, see how that goes good together. If I thought it was a little bit harsh, I could just do that. Okay, so that's Pop and my contour. Okay, see the difference in this side and this side. Okay, now bronzer. Let me show you where we place our bronzer. All right, so here's the Bella bronzer. Don't skip this step. All right, I always do it on my finger. It's easier for me. This is going to go right above that blush, just a little bit above that blush. Okay, and then I always put a little bit up here. Okay. You can put a little bit on your nose if you want to. You can put a little bit here. You can put a little bit on your neck. Whatever you want to do. You can use this end of the blush and bronzer. You can use the blend brush. So it's up to you. Okay. So you're going to rub this around. But Bella just gives you that nice tan look, just a little bit of a glow. just a warmth. And boy, we need it because I turn so white in the winter. And my neck will turn red just because I'm touching it, so I have to give it a little time. Okay, so there is my bronzer, blush, and contour, okay? All right, so all of it together. All right, there's not a huge difference, but that's what we want to see. You want to look natural. We don't want to see this huge difference in your face. We want to see your skin, okay? That's the beauty of this makeup. You feel natural. And I don't feel cakey. If you start feeling cakey, you didn't apply this right, okay? So, that's why I love this stuff so much. Now, you can line your lips with a contour. I use the multitasker. I do use a darker contour to line my lips. This is Indigo. It's not the same one I used on my face. I use Olive on my face. All right, but I like a darker one on my lips. But it's personal preference. You may like the same one. Okay, and then I'm gonna take that Pop. Now, I don't know if I showed you Pop, but that's what Pop looks like. That's not what it looks like on my skin. So don't let it intimidate you. Okay. Now, on my lips, it's different, but I'm gonna show you what I do. I like to mix them. And at the end of November, they're coming out with some sales on the lip and cheek colors. And Pop is going to be in those sales. I love Pop. This one is also going to be in the sale. This is, let me find it. I moved all my stuff around. Candy, okay? This one is Candy, and that one's going to also be in there. So sometimes I will mix Pop and Candy. Look how pretty. Okay, now I can do that with the blush if I want to. Okay, now that I'm done, I'll go ahead and do that just to show you. Okay, I mean, play with them. What's it gonna hurt? All right, so Candy doesn't, show up like crazy on your skin, but it does put out a pretty pink. And so you can mix that with Pop. Look how pretty. All right. And it has like a little shimmer. Okay. Look at that. All right. So the last thing I'm going to do on my face is, I love Illuminator. I used to never wear it, especially with having oily skin. I thought, I don't want to look shiny. But this has actually helped my skin. I put it on my nose. And Cupid's bow right here. And on my temples. Okay. Okay, and you can put it up here under your eyebrows. I know I don't have eye makeup on yet. So you can also put it right here on your cheeks. Okay, so you can see like the difference because I've only got this on one side of my face. Big difference. But it's not like a crazy, oh my gosh, she's got way too much makeup on. It's very natural looking. Oh, I like to put the Illuminator on my lips. Watch this. Okay. It's just, it gives it a pretty like pop. Okay. So that's just one way of doing your makeup. All right. Just one way. Now, there's so many different ways. So you don't have to stick to just one. I'll be showing you several different ways. You've seen several different ways that I've done it. But I just wanted to come on and show you some of these techniques and some of the colors. But if you have any questions, let me know. I wanted to make sure, because I had a lot of questions about contour and blush placement, so I wanted to go over that. And brushes too. Make sure that you are cleaning your brushes because that's very important. All right. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, if you have questions, let me know, and I'll be glad to help. All right. Take care.